Hello guys, I'll be talking about the God of Fear and Hunger from Fear and Hunger 1. You first meet the God of Fear and Hunger in the form of a regular little girl called the Girl with no name whatsoever. She was cast into dungeons of fear and hunger, knowing nothing but fear and hunger. The girl has the Ancient One soul type, which reads, a soul that radiates the light of an older god. The soul has formed itself inside the body of a little girl. The mother of the Ancient One is the Endless One, and the father is the man from the prophecies. The results of such unholy union are unfamiliar to us, which is what the new gods would say when asked about the Ancient One. She was born in Nilvan's attempt, Nilvan is the Endless One, to push forward a new age of humanity. The man from the prophecies is referring to Lagard. Currently, humanity has been suffering as they have been under the control of the old gods. The cycle of the new gods has been proven ineffective, as each new god will be usurped and replaced with the next set of new gods. The girl was supposed to break that cycle and usher forward a new age for humanity. You first find her in a cage, and she can be freed by either using a key or by the lockpicking skill. Afterward, she will accompany you throughout your journey. She can be equipped with a dagger and can be given the peculiar doll, both being the only two gifts anyone has ever given her. Upon reaching the altar of darkness within the body of the god of depths, she will collapse as she began to ascend to godhood. The girl will take on many stages as she began her apotheosis. She will leave behind the comfort that she had found in a new family of misfits and outcasts, broken people trying to survive in this cruel world together. In each transformation, she is in grueling pain and twitching from the cold. In the first stage, she will grow an extra arm, but still looks pretty human. In the second stage, she resembles the Greek statue, Venus de Milo, who is the goddess of love and beauty. The irony is that this is supposed to represent her loss of innocence. While Venus is the goddess of love and beauty, she is the god of fear and hunger. Additionally, she was also forced to grow up in order to survive in the dungeons of fear and hunger. Besides that, she also barely felt any love at all. The only time that she ever felt love was probably from the band of mercenaries, which include Kahara, Ragnarvalda, Enki, Diaz, all of which are misfits. Additionally, in the second stage, she also weeps tears of blood as she missed a childhood, and she will never be able to experience this childhood again. In the third stage, her stomach splits open in a ghastly sight and her body contorts as she began to grow larger. I think that she does look like God from Silent Hill 3, who was resurrected from the gastrointestinal tract of Heather Mason. When God was born in Silent Hill 3, God is twisted and malformed due to the hatred and anger of Heather Mason, as well as the hasty birth, similar to how the girl was forced to endure the depravity of the dungeon. And obviously the girl will also have to go through a lot of hatred and anger from the other prisoners inside of the dungeon. Additionally, the girl is also forcefully ascended, just as how Heather Mason was forced to give birth to God in Silent Hill 3. In this stage, she also reminisces the dagger that is still laying on the ground. In the fourth stage, she is much larger, standing on multiple legs, and her womb has split open, even bigger, revealing nothing but pure darkness. The hole in her stomach or womb is also similar to the mouth of the God of the Depths. I think this is supposed to show that some aspects of the God of the Depths has carried on into the God of Fear and Hunger. So the God of the Depths is not dead, it's just that some part of him is still alive inside of the God of Fear and Hunger. I think that one of the inspirations for the fourth stage is Saturn by Prophet Ham on DeviantArt, because looking at both artworks, they look very similar. In the fifth and final stage, she has finally ascended to godhood. The newborn god trembles in pain in her new form. The form is expressionless, while the previous form showed the great pain that the girl feels as she ascends. Now she has no face at all to display any emotion. Her final form is very similar to the glutton from Silent Hill 3. It is also kind of ironic that the personification of famine, the god of fear and hunger, is inspired by gluttony, which is seen in the glutton from Silent Hill 3. Additionally, both the glutton and the god of fear and hunger is very passive, because the glutton from Silent Hill 3 shows no interest in attacking Heather Mason. She also has a halo. There's many strings attached to it. I think this is supposed to represent how the girl was treated as a puppet, as she was used by Nilvan to bring forward a new age of humanity. Lagard also shows no love to the girl, and And the only reason why Lagarde even decided to sleep with Nilvan was because he thought that this will help him to achieve godhood. Like this will help him to become closer to godhood by sleeping with Nilvan. And that's why he decided to sleep with Nilvan to create the girl. So obviously, both Lagarde and Nilvan do not show any love to the girl at all. After finally defeating her, the god acknowledges your suffering. However, you do not win. You do not survive. Instead, your body is never found, but you found a peaceful death. A merciful death. A death that is better than others that has delved into the dungeons of fear and hunger. You lie peacefully before the newborn god. You never escape the dungeons. Your efforts will go unsung, but your part in the greater scheme of things was vital nevertheless. You had a vital part in the birth of a new god. One that's not a mere new god, but one that rivals the older ones. You had a first-hand experience of witnessing the coming paradigm shift the world is to go throughout the new era. An era of the newborn god, the god of fear and hunger. You come to know this day as the cruel age. An age where a human-born god will finally rise after millennia of mankind's struggle as the feeble new gods. Maybe your fate was an act of mercy. The last traces of compassion the newborn god shed after her true ascension. Your demise was peaceful after all. The god of fear and hunger brings forth a new age, which is the cruel age. But it is this cruel age that will propel humanity forward. She empowers the humans with strife and grief. We can also see that this new cruel age was beneficial for humanity and it forced them to progress. We can also see that due to the god of fear and hunger, humanity finally get out of the Middle Ages and they began to go through the Industrial Revolution. The Skin Bible also confirms that the girl barely gets to experience any love. I mean, think about it. The rest of her life is pretty much nightmare fuel. Before meeting the main party, she didn't really get to experience any love because her dad, Lagarde, obviously doesn't love her, and Nilvan used her as a puppet as Nilvan cast her away into the dungeons of fear and hunger so that the girl would be basically what is said, a blank slate. Additionally, when the girl transforms, she remembers the love that the party has shown her as she thinks back about the dagger that she was given. However, it is these brief moments of love and compassion that she received that is so important, because these brief moments of love and compassion motivated her to become a benevolent god that had good intentions for humanity compared to the more indifferent and alien older gods such as Grogoroth or Sylvian. The god of fear and hunger is an ascender god similar to Ulmer. She is a newborn god, but she has the power to rival the older gods and is a force of nature. Because one thing about the new gods is that they don't really represent things about nature. Most of them are just gods of their own soul type, such as the Tormented One or the Enlightened One, or Nilvan being the Endless One, or Francois being the Dominating One. Her spells also show that she has powers very similar to the God of the Depths, which can be seen in Mastery over Vermin and Mischiefs of Rats. Mastery over Vermin says that you gain the ability to talk to those who are often left unseen. We do know that outcasts and creatures of the dark worship the god of the depths, and the god of the depths also could control insects and had servants such as the Cockroach King. But the god of fear and hunger doesn't really use cockroaches or other insects, and instead, most of her spells is about controlling rats. Besides inspiration from Silent Hill, Fear and Hunger also draws a lot of inspiration from Berserk as well. First of all, the god of the depths, it does really look like the sea god from Berserk. But I think more importantly, the way how a person becomes an apostle is almost identical to how the girl ascends. Because when someone becomes an apostle, what they need right now is a Behelit, which is just like red egg, or it's called the egg of a king. Additionally, both becoming an apostle and also becoming a ascended god or a new god requires the sacrifice of a loved one, and it leads to them losing aspects of their personality. From what we can tell, I'm going to assume that Kahara was sacrificed because we know that Enki survived and he went on to write the Skin Bible. We also know that Diaz also survived because she was the one that revives Lagarde as Kaiser, seen in her S ending. Finally, we also know that Ragnarvalder also survives because he becomes an epic monster slayer and like have a bunch of kids. We also know that Moonless is still alive inside the second game. So we know that someone has been taking care of her, which is probably Ragnarvalder and his bunch of children. Also, the race of the Odegaard people is still there. So probably Ragnarvalder survived the dungeons and managed to revive the race of the Odegaard people. And that's all. Please type down your own interpretations and theories of the God of Fear and Hunger. And I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Bye bye.